In a previous video, I shared the first 3 mindset rules for older hikers, principles that help us stay safe, comfortable, and realistic out on the trail. Today, we'll pick up where we left off with rules 4 through 6. These are still about mindset, how we approach hiking, how we make decisions, and how we set ourselves up for success, not by pushing harder, but by hiking smarter. I'm here at a middle school track to illustrate this 4th rule. I've adapted the common saying among hikers, hike your own hike, as rule number 4. So here's a story from when I was in my 20s, officiating at a track meet. There was a guy in his 30s running into sprints who got very excited about finishing 3rd in his age group. To me at the time, it seemed like a small meet and a small win, nothing to be too excited about. Nobody in that group was breaking records. But then he came over to me and told me his story. The year before, he could barely walk. The year before that, after he was involved in an accident, the doctors told him he'd never walk again. Suddenly, that 3rd place finish became something else entirely. It was huge. The guy was a superhero. More recently, I'd set up camp early one day out on the trail, and a couple of hikers came by and said, "You're doing great. You can make it up the next climb easy." They meant to be encouraging and helpful, but I knew better. That 1,000-foot climb was better saved for the next morning.
So like that runner who had his own personal measure of success, I wasn't tempted to compare myself to 2 much younger hikers and take a challenge I didn't think I was up to.
That's what hike your own hike means. Don't let someone else's pace or goals push you past your limits. You know your body, you know your hike.
Rule number 5, planning is not the same as preparation. Now, I like a good plan as much as anyone, but planning isn't the same as preparing. I had a friend, Don, who once planned out every detail of a hike we were to go on. Our daily mileage, where we would rest, even where we'd have lunch. He told me that's how he got into it. But for training, he'd just been walking local rail trails, flat, smooth, no obstacles. Our hike was to be the northernmost 90 miles of Vermont's long trail, and that's not exactly rail trail conditions. Don had overplanned and underprepared. He wanted everything to go right, so he built what I call a success-based schedule. It assumed everything would go as planned. No bad weather, no blisters, no bad sleep, no detours, no twisted ankles, no things occur. And the problem is, that kind of plan sounds positive, but it usually leads to failure because reality doesn't work that way. And in this case, Don twisted his ankle on the approach trail and he had to stop. And I think it was my fault because I hadn't properly prepared him for this hike. So yes, plan your hike at a high level. Know where you can resupply if it's a longer hike. Know about trail conditions and water supplies and campsites, but prepare for it too. Be ready for things to not go according to script. And prepare physically by taking shorter trips to check out your gear and test out your knees and test out your ankles.
Rule number 6 is pack weight matters. This one's pretty simple. The lighter your pack, the more you're going to enjoy your hike, as long as you're still carrying what you need. That doesn't mean you have to be a gram-counting ultralighter. It just means be selective. Think in terms of systems. A lot of people obsess over shaving an ounce here or there, cutting off tags, drilling holes in toothbrush handles, but they ignore bigger opportunities. Take tents, for example. A lightweight tent that needs a separate ground cloth, extra stakes, and an add-on vestibule isn't saving you much. Look at the whole shelter system, not just one weight and a gear spec. And then there are personal choices. I carry an inflatable pillow. Some people use a stuffed sack full of clothes and that works for them. I tried and it was just too lumpy for me. I didn't get good sleep. That pillow weighs 4 ounces and it's worth every ounce because it helps me sleep better. I'll take the weight hit on that one. In future videos, I'll talk more about gear and trade-offs because, yeah, lighter is better, all other things being equal, but all other things are like never equal, and that's where good decision-making matters the most.
Those are mindset rules 4 through 6. Hike your own hike, planning is not preparing, and pack weight matters. Simple on the surface, but they're the kind of things that can make or break a trip, especially as we get older. If you haven't seen the first video in this series, please check it out. Or if you're ready to get into some real-world gear decisions about shelters, stoves, sleep systems, you can start with this video. Either way, I hope you'll stick around, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. It helps the channel tremendously, and it'll get it out to more and more people. Thanks for listening.